Hello, welcome to the Trews. We're looking at Sean Hannity now.
Welcome back to Hannity. The Council on American-Islamic Relations, better known as CARE, has launched a massive letter-writing campaign calling on Israel to end its military offensive in Gaza.
I don't know if petty or trivial, but Sean Hannity does look a bit like the Ken doll in the Toy Story 3 film.
Now, in a press release, the pro-Muslim organization said in part, quote, the U.S. government must not remain silent about Israel's unjust and disproportionate use of force against the Palestinians in Gaza.
Also, he has his name on a police badge in the corner of the screen. Hannity! Like he's got a police badge with stars above it.
Because American taxpayers provide Israel with billions of dollars of aid each year, we have a right to demand that those funds not be used to take the lives of innocent civilians.
Right, that sounded reasonable, didn't it? Let's see where old Hannity in his sheriff's badge in the corner of the screen go with that. Also, in the background, says the word sympathy for the terrorists, and there's pictures of people in balaclavas firing rockets. So I think it's already clear that Sean's got an angle.
Now, interestingly enough, there was no mention of the terrorist group Hamas and their role in this conflict. After all, they started this conflict.
Bit childish.
So my question is, why is America's largest Muslim, so-called civil rights group showing sympathy to terrorists? Here to debate this from the American Islamic Forum for Democracy, Dr. Zuhdi Jasser is with us. And also joining us, the executive director of the Jerusalem Fund and Palestinian Center in Washington, Youssef, Munayyer is with us. Welcome all of you. Thanks for being here. Youssef, let me ask you this. If I fire 1,600, 2,000 rockets into your neighborhood...
Sean's already pointing, like as soon as he starts, if I fire... Sean, you're already being unreasonable. This isn't the normal terms and style of debate. You've entered into aggression with your very first gambit.
I kidnapped 3 children in your neighborhood, students, and I killed them. What do you think the proper proportionate response is?
Sean's not a solution-based guy. Sean's not in his mind got, right, we want peace. What things should we say and focus on to arrive at peace? Sean's thinking, we want conflict. What things can I say to exacerbate conflict?
Well, maybe you should stop the ongoing, for decades-long military occupation of Palestinian territory.
Okay.
Necessarily, in a dispute, the side with inferior resources has to use more desperate tactics. So, like, you know, like big countries like Britain or America or Israel have like proper militaries, proper military resources. But small countries like Palestine, or there isn't even a Palestine now, the Gaza Strip don't have they don't have an army. They don't have one. So like if they're in any way going to try and defend themselves, it's going to be through what we would perceive or term as acts of terror. But that's just language, really. Like, if I sort of beating up someone with a variety of weaponry and they're jabbing me with a pin, it's like, the pin technique, you're an animal! that's the only thing they have in order to defend themselves. Of course, no, it's still out of order, the pin, you know, it hurt and everything, but you don't remove all context except for the information that's convenient to you.
Listen, we can take it back to the 1948 partition plan, and we can look at the 67 war, the 73 war.
Yes, let's do that, Sean, because as you know, that's the broader context. But Sean's going to say let's not consider any of those things because he's not interested in truth. Sean Hannity, and the reason he's got this job on Fox News, is only interested in pushing a particular perspective. And you could say, but so are you, Russell. And you'd be right. And that perspective is this: peace.
Now I'm asking you a question. If thousands of rockets are fired in your neighborhood, and kids in your neighborhood are kidnapped, what are you going to do?
But Sean, this rocket attack that you're proposing to the people of Gaza will be a massive reduction from what they're enduring. It will be a bloody relief.
Sean, if the United States... Sir, I'm going to try to answer your question if you stop badgering me.
Good luck. Good luck, mate, answering Sean's question. Because Sean don't want an answer to your question. Sean wants to say more stuff while jabbing his finger aggressively. You're watching the truth.
If the United States was invaded by a foreign military and besieged and surrounded...
Wouldn't happen. It's too good at fighting.
And the food that was coming into the United States was counted by the calories so that people would be put on a diet, as the Israelis claim. And bombs were being dropped. Sir, let me finish. Let me finish.
You're justifying
Let me finish, and then
you are making a rationalization.
What he's doing is you ask the question. No, he's answering it. Might seem like a rationalisation. He's giving you bits of information, Sean, in response to your question, and in my saying quite a reasonable, sanguine, and calm way. Given that I don't know if he's got, we don't know yet whether the guys there have screens where they can see Sean furiously jabbing at the space in front of his own face. But if they can, that must be antagonistic for them.
You are making a rationalization. For rockets and kidnapping and murder.
Obviously, one of Sean's things is just to say incendiary words again. Yeah, rockets, kidnapper, murder, a little baby duckling kicked in the face. These are just things that are bad.
And you expect you want to blame the victims in this case. Zudi Johnson.
So the only people blaming the victim here is you.
Forget everything else if you want, because that's Sean's technique, isn't it? Forget the agreement and the division of the land when Palestine got taken away from them and the numerous wars and the encroachment of territory. All right, then, well, let's forget all of that. But what you must observe is that people that have got power have got more power than people without power. That's a really obvious thing. So they ain't got much power there in Gaza. Like, they've only got, their little network of tunnels and their few puny rockets. That's what it boils down to. Israel gets billions of dollars of military aid. It's a proper hardcore army, nuclear arsenal. So if you're trying to solve the problem, who are you going to talk to? Not that it's not bad that Israel has to deal with terrorist attack. Of course it is. But what are we looking for? A solution or just a verdict on who's bad? And because that's not going to get any of us anywhere.
I want to ask Youssef a question. Is Hamas a terrorist organization?
Is Hamas a terrorist organization? Look at Sean, so pleased with that bit, isn't he? Youssef, is Hamas a terrorist organization? Let me finish, Youssef!
Do I get to actually speak now?
Well, I don't know. Are you going to say it's a terrorist organization?
You get to answer the question. It's a simple yes or no question. Is Hamas...
You invited me on here.
Is Hamas...
You invited me on here as a guest.
I'm asking you a question.
Sean looks like he's going to cry. So I'm happy about that.
Is that a terrorist organization? That's a yes or no question.
Thank you for your question. And now I will provide an answer.
Finally.
It's very telling to me that, and it should be telling to your viewers as well, by the way, that the moment you have a Palestinian voice on your program who begins to explain the legitimate grievances of Palestinians on the ground, not just
organization.
Hamas.
Answer.
Sir, let me
question.
Finish. Am I a guest on your program, or am I on a witness stand here?
Is Hamas a terrorist organization?
The United States certainly considers Hamas a terrorist organization.
Do you consider?
I
didn't ask what the United States think. I asked what you think.
Okay. I don't care about the United States, but I do. I love it. It's a great country. But mostly, I care about you saying Hamas is a terrorist organization.
If you think that we are going to have any progress in this situation by simply yelling at me.
I didn't take a job on Fox News because I'm interested in progress. I'm interested in shouting and pointing and simplifying things.
That's not really going to be helpful.
Nicely. Is Hamas
let me ask you, sir, a question at this point.
Is Hamas a terrorist organization? Yes or no?
Let me ask you a question, sir.
No, you don't answer a question with a question.
You don't answer a question with a question. That's another one of the rules I have.
Is Hamas... What part of this can't you get through your thick head?
Sean, you're being rude now, mate. That's really rude.
I think...
Is Hamas a terrorist organization?
Excuse me?
Yes or no?
I already answered your question.
Yes or no?
I already answered your question.
You did not.
Well, this is the problem, Youssef, is that we cannot...
Poor Youssef. Okay, this is the problem, Youssef. Your father and I have been discussing you for a while.
Why is he asking you if it's a terrorist organization? Because terrorist organizations use children as shields.
Well, reports back from Gaza, people going, they're not using children as human shields. Those children are dying because missiles are going off all over the place, and Gaza's only a little tiny area. But like, even if they were, even if everyone was like carrying children around literally strapped to a wooden board using them as shields, they still wouldn't die if you didn't shoot them with missiles. So I think the key ingredient in the death of those children is the missile, not the using them as shields, which I don't think happens. That's dehumanisation. These children are the children of people like us. Once you start saying people don't love their children, that's how genocides start.
And just like when America had to go into Afghanistan, had to go into Iraq, we saw pictures from CARE and other organizations saying America is killing innocents, when in fact we were fighting a legitimate war.
Some would consider the arming of Israel, the constant bombardment, the murder of children, to be terrorist. But that's not how Israel sees it, or how the United States sees it. And when Britain was occupying India or Ireland or all of the countries, you could call that terrorism. It was certainly terrible and awful, but the way we were taught it, that's just alright, that is. That's a good thing that's happening. So don't you think maybe that applies with the other people? No!
And this is about, if you want to stop the deaths of children, stop the firing of rockets.
You had your chance.
You had your chance. You didn't say Hamas is a terrorist organization, and now you can't be on the TV no more.
You had your chance. You didn't say Hamas is a terrorist organization.
Sir,
goodbye. Coming up next.
Goodbye. Is that it? That's amazing. That's amazing. Like, one of the definitions of terrorist is using intimidation to reach your goals. Who in that situation was behaving like a terrorist? Using intimidation, bullying, being unreasonable? Sean Hannity. That's where the terrorism's coming from. There's no objective terrorism, there's just different perspectives of violence. No one should be using violence, but if you're going to judge violence pejoratively and negatively, and God knows we all should, then the people that are doing the most and the most effective violence surely are committing the greater crime. I don't know, it's a complicated issue, it's gone on for millennia, so I don't think we're going to solve it on the Trews, but there's certainly some things to think about. Thank you very much, Sean.
Nose is a tool that is abused to fool you and to leave you scared and confused. Trews is like the nose. If the nose was true, I want some Trews. Let's have some Trews.